right, so you're thinking about the Villages, Florida. Well, here are 5 topics, 5 questions, 5 things you really need to consider and need to understand before you think about buying a home here in the Villages, Florida. My name is Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a licensed realtor here in the state of Florida. I primarily sell in the Villages. If you're looking for someone who represent you, give me a call. All right, let's get to it. So, number 5. So I'm going to go 5 to 1. Number 5 on the list. I don't know if this is like too much headspace, but I have my door open. It is very cold today. Well, it's gotten better. It was like 36 degrees this morning. That's crazy. And today is January 21st. All right. So number 1, what does MLS and VLS really mean? Well, if you are searching for a new home, well, I would say MLS are all of the realtors from the big franchises to the small boutique brokerages that you find throughout the country, multiple list service. I am an MLS realtor. So we are a licensed professional. We have to join the board. We have to follow code of ethics, and we have standards that we have to adhere to. We use the multiple list service when it comes to finding pre-owned homes for you. Then there's the Properties of the Villages. They have their system, VLS. Now the VLS, they have their own inventory of pre-owned homes, and I'll talk about that in a moment, and all of the new homes that the developer has for sale. If you want a new home, you have to use Property of the Villages. You have to use one of their sales associates. Now, they are not realtors, but they are licensed professionals. So they have to pass the same exams that we all do to obtain a license here in Florida. They deal with all the new construction. Pre-owned homes, when you live here, you have a choice if you want to list your home in the MLS or in the VLS. So if you want a pre-owned home, you must have both a realtor and a sales associate from the Villages at your disposal, so you see all of the pre-owned homes that are available to you. Next, unique to this community, the bond, the CDD, the amenity fee. What does that mean to you? Well, the bond, and I put all this information in my book. If you don't already have it, you can buy it in print on Amazon. It's called Thriving in the Villages. Or you can also purchase it as a download on my website, robyncavallaro.com. But so the bond, the CDD are all paid in your tax bill. And I actually did produce a video that just talks about taxes, but the bond and the CDD are called non-ad valorem assessments. They're not a tax, they're an assessment. The bond pays for, so when the developer is going to develop a plot of land, they purchase a municipal bond, and then that bond is divided, the amount is divided up amongst all the homes that are built in that area, and it pays to put the golf course in, the mail station, the pools, and all the infrastructure here before your home is actually built. So everyone has a bond or had a bond. I mean, I think maybe there's some old section they didn't have a bond, but you'll find the bonds are all different amounts and different interest rates. Bond amortization schedules can be found on districtgov.org. I have that here. There are at different interest rates, depends on when they purchase the municipal bond. There are admin fees, so you do pay interest on that. And I'm not going to get into, in this video, should you pay the bond off or not. That's a whole other topic, and also really you should talk with a financial advisor before you decide to pay that off. But so the bonds can be pretty hefty in the new sections and low or no bond in the older sections. But that's paid in your tax bill. Also, the CDD, Community Development District, we are not a homeowners association. So here in the Villages, you have your own home, and then you have all the common areas. You maintain your own home, the inside, the outside of the structure, your lawn care, your water, your sewer, your trash, your cable bill, all is paid by you. The CDD pays to maintain all the common areas within your district. So changing out the flowers, they maintain all the outside of the retention ponds, keep the common areas in the roads, like all the medians, they keep all of that looking beautiful. That's a CDD that will never go away, and that varies by district and section. So you have to find out when you're purchasing a home how much the bond and the CDD actually is. And again, that gets paid in your tax bill. You have ad valorem, non-ad valorem. Ad valorem is the price, the taxes for the actual property. Not ad valorem are assessments that are paid with your tax bill. If you have any questions, you always can call me. Fire assessment is different in each county, and it depends. Lake, Sumter, Marion County, they all have a different assessment, and that gets paid in your annual tax bill as well. The amenity fee goes to the villages, along with their water, sewer, and trash. The third item that you have to take into consideration when you're purchasing a home here is you think about which area that you would like to live in. Now, all the areas have their own unique qualities, pros and cons, and only you can determine what works best for you. And this is going to be a whole separate episode, but I'm just going to summarize. And you can search on my website by area, but the further north you go, the homes are older, but there are little to no bond. CDDs are lower, more mature landscaping. The setbacks are further, deeper, like down, well, we'll get into down here later, but larger yards, it looks like a neighborhood that we all grew up in. Some of the cons are they could be a little further away from some of the town squares, if that matters. But a lot of the older homes you'll find have been remodeled, so they will have had updates to them. The further south you go, so like between the sixes, that's pretty much, everybody wants to be between the sixes because most all of the amenities are there. There are a lot more recreation centers, the golf courses, I'm sure probably a lot of the clubs that meet in between there. We're going to talk about the clubs in a minute when I'm talking about a little bit about rec centers. And it's near, it's very close between the three town squares. So you have easy access. Everything is pretty much available to you on a golf cart if that's important to you. And, it's closer to Lake Sumter Landing, which I think most people really enjoy. Lake Sumter Landing, it's their favorite. I mean, I think Lake Sumter Landing is very pretty. My favorite is Brownwood, but I have my own reasons because it's closer to my house. When you get into that Brownwood area, you're going to find the homes are 10 to 12 years old, so some of them are going to start to need updating and haven't been done yet. They may need a roof. And the bonds are going to be a little bit higher because those homes are only 10 years old. Once you get south of 44, now I love it here, but it's very young. The homes are new. The landscaping is young, is what I mean by young. The landscaping is young, so the trees aren't that big. I find down here that all of the homes are very close together and very close to the road. So you can have $1 million houses like right on top of the road and right on top of your neighbors. It's just the way it is. Here you always pay for what's not in your backyard. It's funny because I've had a conversation with a couple people and they'll tell me, this is what I want and this is what I have to spend. And like, oh, we need to have a conversation on how much your money will not buy here because it's eye-opening, especially if it's the first time here. You get overwhelmed, but they just cannot believe how much a home costs and what you don't get. But sometimes it's a great deal. Again, I'm not being derogatory, I'm being realistic. And that's why people come to me, because they know they're going to get honesty, sometimes a little brutal honesty, but I would rather you have all the facts on the con side than say, why did you make everything look like it was rainbows and unicorns, and it's not. So I'm not a rainbow unicorn kind of person. I'm a very happy person. I'm very upbeat and energetic. But when it comes to you spending $500,000 on a home, I want to make sure, or even you're spending $200,000 on a home, I want to make sure that you have all the necessary facts when it comes to making that purchase. So definitely think about that when you're coming to buy here. And if you think you want to spend $3, be prepared to go up to $350 to get what you want. It's probably a good estimation. And each area, that's another uniqueness here about the community. You know, where we grew up, whoa, where'd that go? Where we grew up, I don't know about you, but I can tell you there were certain areas that this is where all the wealthy people lived, and this is where maybe the homes were less expensive. So there are different sections. I'll be right back. All right, so when it comes to recreation centers, we have several different types here. We have the regional, where you find the sport pool. They're larger, more activities take place there. They maybe have more pickleball courts, more tennis courts, but that's where the sport pool can be found. Blue and white flags, that's meant for water volleyball, water aerobics, place to work out, not to lay out. Then we have the village rec centers where, you know, same thing on a smaller scale. Typically you find a family pool there. Some of them are, an adult pool, 30 and under. Sometimes you'll find a family pool. And then we have the neighborhood center pool. That's where you get your mail. And there's typically a pool there as well. There are more rec centers the further south you go. The villages did a really great job of developing that part of the infrastructure as they developed south. One thing you should know, though, about the rec centers, that even though there are 3,000 clubs, not every club and every activity is available at each recreation center. Because a lot of buyers, like, I want to know where the nearest rec center is. And it might not matter, because you might join, I don't know, a needlepoint club, and you live near Seabreeze, but they meet over at Mulberry, which is way far north. So not every activity is available at each rec center. So please don't make your buying decision on how close it is to a rec center. I understand people want to be close to a pool. You know, they want to be a short cart ride if they want to be able to walk for whatever reason. I get that. But don't do it for the clubs, because you never know where the club or the activity is that you're going to join, where they will meet. So, and there is, you know, we're probably now up to 18 miles from north to south. And the rec centers are not places where you go to just hang out at night. You go there to hang out if there's an event or an activity that you're participating in, but it's not really a place to say, oh, hey, let's just go socialize, unless you know a group of people are going to meet there. So I think that's important to know when you're making a buying decision on where. Unique thing about this community is you can buy a home or live in an area and there's every type of home available to you. So you'll go into a section, I don't know, it's, you know, whatever. Any village, doesn't matter. You'll find a patio villa, you'll find a courtyard villa, you'll find the small designer, large designer home. It's not that this area here, everything near Lake Sumter Landing is only $1 million home. Now, there are a couple of sections that the homes are 800,000 and up, but that's, you know, like one or two sections. Some areas may be more expensive, but you will find a style of home everywhere. So it gives you the opportunity in the community to live anywhere if you choose to do so. If you say, I really want to be up near Lake Sumter Landing, but I only want a patio villa and I only have $300,000 to spend, you will be able to find a home in that area. Now, I'm not going to say, depending on your price point and what you're looking for, that home might not need work, but you will be able to find what you're looking for. And I think that's amazing about here. Anybody can live anywhere and enjoy this active adult lifestyle. Let me tell you something about the gates. So, you know, we are a community filled with gates, but we are not a gated community. What I mean by that is when you go, the roads here are maintained by the county. They're public roads. So when you travel, anybody can travel the roads. All you need to do is go through the gate. You push the button and you'll gain access. The gates are there to try to keep traffic control, and so the cars don't go through really quickly and possibly hit a golf cart in the process of crossing over. So just be cognizant of that. The road, and if you're exploring, say you come up here to look around, don't be deterred by the button or the guard. They'll wave you through. They're not going to stop you unless you have a question. You want to stop them and ask if there is a guard at the gate. If not, you just hit the button. It may say ask for help. Nobody's answering. No. So come here and explore on your own. And if you're visiting and looking for a home, you definitely want to take some time away from looking with a realtor to explore the areas on your own, because you may find that you thought, I only wanted a home with no bond, and then you found, well, I really like these style homes and I only can find them somewhere else. So this will give you the opportunity to explore everything here and make the right buying decision. And this is kind of, I'm going to lump them all together here. This is, the Villages is not a retirement community. Now, a lot of people here are retired, but there are a lot of people here that work full-time. And this is an active adult community. Now, I've been into a lot of over 55 communities in different areas here in Florida, and I can tell you no one has the amount of activity that we have here. And I'm not saying that to just sell the Villages, because I can sell a home anywhere. So it doesn't matter to me if you want to buy a home here or you want to buy a home at Stonecrest or Solavita. You know, I have the opportunity, I could sell to you anywhere. So I'm coming from an objective point of view. The other communities just don't have the amount of hustle bustle and activity at your fingertips that we have here. The Villages, the developer has really done an amazing job of putting together a community that is vibrant and thriving, where people are enjoying this portion of their life, whether it's they're out at the squares, they're playing pickleball, or they're golfing, or they have a card group that they get together with, or you know, whatever it is. There are all different types of opportunities here for you to really enjoy this lifestyle. And last, as a bonus, don't believe the stories you hear about the loofahs and the STDs. A fallacy. Just somebody came up with that just to keep this place in the news, I guess. So anyway, I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions, text me, call me, email me. I'm here to be a resource for you during the home buying process. I'm Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a realtor here in Florida. If you like this episode, I think you check this next one out. You might like it. All right, until next time, I'll see you.